Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the 6 things that held me back as a new loan officer. Had I known these things and how to overcome them, I would have been a lot much more successful from the get-go. So if you're new, or maybe you just want to know what things may come in your way as a new loan officer or an existing loan officer, make sure you stay to the end of this video because I'm going to be going over those obstacles and also some tips on how to overcome them. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, number 1, and this is in no particular order, is knowing your guidelines. What are guidelines? These are basically requirements for each loan program. So FHA, conventional, VA, bank statement, all these programs have the requirements, things that need to be met by the client, the borrower, in order for them to qualify. Just so you have an idea, these are guidelines for just 3 programs, FHA, conventional, and VA. As you can see, that's a whole lot of paper. That's a whole lot of guidelines. And as a loan officer, you need to know these. Now, of course, you're not going to memorize those entire packs, but you do need to know most guidelines, and you're always going to be learning. So right now, I don't want you to feel, hey, I'm not going to be a loan officer because that's way too much. That's not what I'm saying. You don't have to memorize these, but you do need to know most of them. And that's because if you don't know most of your guidelines, you're going to get a deal. Let's say a client comes to you, maybe it's Bobby. Bobby wants to buy a house with his family, and you fill out the application, and there's one requirement that he doesn't meet for FHA or conventional, whatever program you're trying to get him in. There's one requirement that he doesn't meet. He gets into escrow, and then next thing you know, the underwriter finds out that he doesn't meet this one guideline. And I promise you, underwriters will find everything. What's an underwriter? Basically someone that reviews a loan file to make sure it fulfills all the guidelines. So it's kind of their job to find things that you miss or make sure that everything's there. So let's say that person finds something, the underwriter. They're going to say, hey, Enrique, this person doesn't qualify. And then at that point, the deal can fall apart. And that's not a position you want to be in front of your clients, your real estate agent partner, really anyone in the industry. It's going to look very bad. So make sure you know most of your guidelines. And I made a video on how to be a more experienced loan officer. You should check it out. I'll link it right here. That one I go over how to learn more and be more knowledgeable about the business, because there's a lot to learn. When you come in, you're going to realize there's so much to learn. So make sure you check out that video. All right, number 2 is not knowing how to structure a loan. This is very important, especially when you're working with tough clients or maybe clients that have difficult scenarios. Maybe they're business owners and you have to look at multiple loan programs for them. It's very important that you know how to structure loans. And this is not the same thing as guidelines. Guidelines are just requirements. Structuring a loan is how you're going to create their application so that they qualify for that program. A different skill, and it's vitally important, especially like I said, for those clients that have more complicated or more expansive loan profiles, right? Maybe they have a ton of properties, maybe they have a ton of businesses, this, that. You're going to need to know how to structure a loan. So it's very important that you know how to do this. How can you become better at this? Well, you can become better at this by doing Homebuyer Workshop. That's something that helped me. That's one thing that you can do, is doing Homebuyer Workshop or investment property workshops. That's basically where you create a presentation for first-time homebuyers on what the process looks like, the tips and tricks, or a presentation on investment properties, how to purchase investment properties, the process, and the tips and tricks. And I have templates on my website if you want to check them out. So they're already made. You just plug in your information and it's all set. It's a great presentation. So that's one thing that you can do that really helped me out, because you're going to be delivering that presentation so much that you're going to know how to structure loans, because people are going to ask you questions. Hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? What about that? And then going through the presentation, you're going to know how to structure loans. And of course, another thing that you can do, which is the obvious one, is go through loan programs. As you do more and more loans, you'll know more and more how to structure loans. I was fortunate that some of my first deals were a little complicated. I had to structure them. They were business owners. They had real estate. So early on, I knew how to structure. So that's another way you can learn how to structure. Of course, you can maybe shadow one of your managers or maybe a coworker if they're doing some of these deals. But it's going to be very important to you as a loan officer, because the last thing you want is to tell a client, hey, you don't qualify, and then they go somewhere else and then they qualify with that other loan officer. And the real estate agent's like, what the heck did you do? Right? You don't want that to happen. So make sure you know how to structure. All right, number 3 thing that held me back as a new loan officer is not knowing how to work with real estate agent partners or having partners, right? They don't have to be real estate agent partners, but those are probably going to be the ideal for this business, and that's because they work with the most buyers. They're the best source of buyer leads. And if you're a loan officer and you watch my videos, you know that I'm always talking about Be a purchase loan officer, a loan officer that builds their business on purchases. When refis come, they come, but don't be dependent on refinances. Because if you search mortgage news, and you probably already know this, a lot of refi banks are going out of business. Refi loan officers are going out of business. So this is why it's so important that you know how to work with real estate agent partners. Because if you know how to work with them, then you're going to get all these buyer leads. And if you're getting buyer leads, you're going to have a strong purchase business. And very early on, I didn't know how to do this because there wasn't really a way to do it. No one really formulated a way to have a partnership with a real estate agent partner. And I made a couple of videos, so if you guys want to check them out, I'll link them right here. That's one of them, great video. And there's another one over here if you want to watch it. Make sure you watch both. Some tips that I share with you guys in this video is you want to make sure that it's an equal partnership. It's not just a real estate agent giving you leads, giving you leads, giving you leads, giving you leads. That's not how it should be. It should be an equal partnership, just like a marriage. A lot of loan officers out there don't do that. They just ask, and ask for leads. And nothing's wrong with that, but make sure you deliver value as well. So that's tip number one. Another idea is constantly be thinking of projects that you can work on, prospecting strategies that you guys can work on as partners. A lot of loan officers don't do this. Maybe they do it once and they don't repeat it. I'm always looking for more projects that I can work on with my real estate agent partners. What are examples of some of those projects? For example, one can be Homebuyer Workshops. You would host that with the real estate agent partner. Hey, my name's Enrique. I do first-time homebuyer workshops if you want to partner up and do this. See, at that point, it doesn't even matter if they're working with another loan officer. Chances are that loan officer doesn't do first-time homebuyer workshops. So that's why I have my presentation. That's why I have it on my website if you guys want to check it out, because it's a project that you can work on with the real estate agent partner. That point, there can be two loan officers working with that real estate agent, because maybe that loan officer that the agent you're trying to work with, maybe that's their brother or sister or nephew or uncle, right? Maybe it's family. So at that point, you don't want to put them into a position where they're choosing. You want to put them into a position where, like, hey, let's all work together. We can work together. And that's why I love projects. So come up with projects, be creative. It could be whatever. It could be door knocking. It could be cold calling, whatever. But come up with projects that you can work with your realtors and do it on a regular basis. All right, number 4 thing is not having systems. This is very important. And a lot of you guys in the beginning are not gonna have systems, so don't start freaking out. It's okay if you don't have systems in the beginning. Now, some of you might. Maybe your company provides systems and shows you how to do a loan, how to do the process, but a lot of them don't do that. So if you're at a company that doesn't do that, you're gonna have to come up with your own systems, and that's okay. But as you're going through deals, take note, okay, what worked, what didn't work? What worked really well and what did not work at all? What was terrible? Make a note of those things, and then eventually you're going to start developing your system. Okay, I want to add this to my system. I want to do this next. After I talk to a client, I always want to do this. After I do that, I want to do this. Those are systems. Think of it like a recipe. So you want to have that for your business, just like any other business. McDonald's, In-N-Out, a restaurant, a candle company, all these companies have systems. So you need one as well. So in the beginning, if you don't have one, don't freak out, but keep in mind that you're going to need one, and you should be developing one as you go. So as you go, make sure you're developing that system. In the future, I will share with you guys my system. Right now, I'm still developing it, but when I do, I will make that available to you guys so that you guys can check it out. Another great thing about the system is once you set it up, it's there and you don't have to create it again. Once you have the recipe for the cake, you don't need to make another recipe because you have the recipe. So know that these systems, maybe in the future, you're going to add tiny little things, but eventually it's going to get to the point where it makes your business a lot easier. Right, you're going to be able to deliver consistent results to your clients, consistent service, consistent attitude and experience to your clients, which is what you want, right? You don't want client A to have a terrible experience and client B to have a great experience. You want all of them to have a great experience, and the only way to do that is systems. Another great thing about systems is you can expand. You can have a large pipeline. Because with systems, you can handle more. Things are chaotic when you don't have systems. You can handle a very small pipeline. So make sure that you get these systems in, and I promise you it's gonna help you a great deal in your business. Number 5 thing that held me back is thinking that my age was keeping me from being successful. In the beginning, I was like, hey, I'm too new, I'm too young, people are not gonna wanna work with me. That's not true. It's true if you make it true. It's true if you believe it's true, because I promise you, if you believe it's true, you're gonna start making it true or even more true in your environment. There's people that have come into the business their first month gotten $1 million deals, whether it be on the loan officer or real estate agent side, but it's happened. So make sure that you don't allow this to hold you back. Now, how can you overcome this? Because you can't just say, hey, that's not going to affect me. You also need to believe it to be true. And the way to believe it to be true is to be a confident and experienced loan officer. Those are really the two things. If you're not confident, it's because you're not experienced, or at least you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the data. So that's why it's so important to know your guidelines, know how to structure, know how to work with real estate agent partners. Once you can do those things, you're not going to worry about being too young. I don't even think about it anymore. I don't think about it because I'm so confident in how I do my business. Train yourself, know more, educate yourself more, then you're going to be more confident, and then you're not going to worry about those things. So that's the way to solve this. I'm not going to say, hey, wait 10 years and that's the only way to solve it. That's not true. Continue to educate, train yourself, know as much as possible, be the professional, be the expert. And I promise you, that's not even going to be a thought anymore that you're too young or too new. All right, number 16 that held me back is trying to work with every single realtor. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't work with a good number of realtors. That just means don't try to work with every single realtor. What I do is I look for the great partnerships, right? Because these are partnerships. So what I do in prospecting for realtors is I look for the great realtors. Now, what does that mean? Because I feel like oftentimes when I say that, people think the wrong things. When I say a great realtor, I don't mean a top producer only. I mean someone that cares about their clients, ethical, disciplined, committed, takes the business seriously, wants to help people. That's what I think of as a great realtor. I don't just think, hey, they're a top producer. There's some loan officers that only go after top producers. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's not what I do. I go after great real estate agent partners, people that are caring, people that are ethical, people that do their business well, people that treat it as a business, people that care about their clients, people that are disciplined, committed, etc. I want to work with those people because it's those people that in the long run are really, really successful. The people that aren't committed, the people that aren't disciplined, that don't take it seriously, eventually those people will die out in the business. They won't get results forever. It's the people that have those positive attributes that will be successful. So that's who I want to work with because I'm that person. And I'm sure most of you guys are those people as well. So look for those agent partners, and I promise you, you're going to build a stronger business than trying to work with every single real estate agent partner. Now, when it comes to how many real estate agent partners, it really depends. Right now, I'm thinking this is my personal opinion. This is my opinion. I think it's good to have 5 to 8 great real estate agent partners. Now, the reason I don't say more than 8 is because once you get past that, the service goes way, way down to the clients and to the real estate agent partners. So that's why I say 5 to 8 max. And that's just my opinion right now. Maybe in the future, it's going to get easier to do loans and we can expand that to maybe 15 or 20. I don't know. But right now, that's my personal opinion. And that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you comment down below what you guys thought. Leave a big thumbs up and subscribe for more content just like this. I make content on life improvement, entrepreneurship, and loan officer training. Thanks again so much for your time. See you in the next video and be great.